Alright everyone, I'm here to give you my Breaking Bad review. This is the beginning of season 4. It's season 4, episode 1, if that, explains it a little bit more. Um, Not gonna lie, I really did like this episode. It was really enjoyable. And I just thought it was good. They've set up a lot of stuff I think that's gonna happen in this season. Well, that did happen this season, because technically I haven't seen it yet, but well, there's no technically I haven't seen this season, but it's already happened. But they set up some stuff that did happen this season that I'm gonna talk about, and I just thought it was a really enjoyable season. So let's just talk about the facts about the episode. So this is, like I said, season 4, episode 1. It's called Box Cutter, and it came out on July 17th, 2011. So the episode starts off with like a flashback of the whole lab being built with Gus, Victor, and Gail, and they're talking about this new meth that's been made, and they ask how long it's gonna take for this lab to be ready, and Gail actually says a month, but Victor looks at him and says 2 weeks, and then Gail's like, okay. So then Gail talks about like this blue meth. Well, they say that Walter White made, but technically they don't know who he is, so they don't say his name. He thinks that it could be some competition, but it's not going to be. So then Gus says that this guy is just like you. He just wants to work with me, but he doesn't have what it takes. So then Gail says, well, don't I? So then Gail's like, I don't know. So then he's like, I don't know. And then it shows Gail's lab notes. I think he had talked about how he wanted to take those. Those are going to be important later on. So then it cuts to the theme song, and then it goes right back to when the scene when Jesse shot Gail. I thought that was pretty good stuff, actually. It goes right back to that scene. Jesse's all kind of crazy out after doing that, because obviously he didn't want to do it, but he didn't have a choice. So then I guess Jesse goes back to his car, and the people are calling it in. Someone's calling it in. We don't necessarily know who, and they're just saying everything that happened in their perspective, but they don't necessarily know why it happened. So then Victor shows up, and he sees Gail, and he's like a little bit bloody in the eye. I thought that was pretty cool. And then he goes back out, and Jesse's in his car, and because I think he's still a little bit kind of fucked up after doing this. And Victor comes up, points a gun at him, and forces him to drive to the lab. And he does. And I didn't mean, something just popped up, by the way. So then Victor and Jesse go back to the place, and Mike and Walter are at the place, and they have him sit down, and I guess they're gonna wait because they call Gus, because they ask what happened. So they didn't really say anything, so I thought that was pretty good stuff. So then Skyler's at her house, and Marie knocks on the door. I don't really know why she was there, but she finds out that Walter's car is still there, because I guess they thought that he just flat out left last night. So then they think that they're back together, but obviously they're not. So Skyler drives the car and parks it at a different place. And Skyler is a little bit suspicious about this, that Walter just left without taking his car with him. So then back at their point of view, Walter says that we should work because and Jesse hasn't said anything too. He kind of is a little bit crazy after having to kill Gail, and Walter said we should cook because Gus is already mad at us, but he'll be even more pissed off if we have to waste a batch. So then Victor, um, just gets a gas mask on, puts some gloves on, and just starts cooking himself. So I thought that was pretty cool stuff. Um, and I think that he might know a little bit of Walter's steps because he's been watching him for so long. When Walter was teaching Gale in the last episode, so I thought that was cool stuff. So then we see Saul, and Walter calls Saul. Zach, well, like he calls to his place. He was kind of doing something really weird in there. I can't really explain it. But then Skyler calls Saul and tells him that Walter isn't around. He for some odd reason he had to take the call by a payphone, maybe because this could have been a private conversation. I'm not really sure why. And Saul says that maybe he just pretty much just to say, well, maybe he just carpool to work today. And Skylar doesn't believe this, so then she goes to Walter's house and she can't get in the door. So she has a landlord, no, a locksmith, come up and to get the key. And Skylar pretends that she got locked out or something. So makes up this lie that she has to get in there. And at first he was just gonna. She had to show proof that she actually lived here, but obviously since she doesn't, it's not gonna work out for her. And Holly started to cry here, so I think that made her story even more believable. And she pretended also that she left her medication in the house, so the guy opened it, and then she looks for Walter, and he still has the teddy bear eyeball from when the aircraft exploded. I thought that was pretty cool stuff. So then yeah, he's not there. They don't really touch on this anymore. Just gonna say that if you want to see a spoiler, but one, this episode is 3 years old, and two, if you haven't seen it, you shouldn't be watching this review because you're watching this review to see me talk about the episode. So then Walter's talking about how telling Jesse that like this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's like he forgot the aluminum. He doesn't know how to put it on, so then he grabs it. I thought that was kind of funny. I knew he was gonna remember. And Walter's all shocked because I think Walter's concerned that if Victor knows how to do this, then Walter won't be needed. So then Gus will kill him. So then Gus shows up, and he doesn't say anything. He shows up and he starts putting on like a suit, not like a suit, but like a suit you would wear if you were cooking meth, or if you were like an orange jumpsuit. There, that's what I wanted to say. And then an air mask. He puts gloves on, and Walter says that Gale was a good chemist. He was one of the best, and I would have done even in he was a good guy. He didn't deserve what happened to him, but I would have done that to save my life and Jesse's life any day of the week. And he talks about how this lab can't run without me, and he talks about how Victor doesn't know how to run this lab because he's never done it before, and he talks about all these steps that you have to do with cooking this meth. And then Walter says that without me and Jesse, this lab will not run. You're going to be digging your money in a hole, pretty much. Just flushing the money down the toilet. So then Walter says, you don't want to do this, Gus. You're smarter than that. So then Gus acts like he's going to kill him, but then he kills Victor. He slices his throat and kills him. I thought that was pretty awesome stuff. It was actually great stuff. It looked really gruesome too. So then they're all kind of shocked, and then Gus cleans his hands afterwards and leaves, and he says, well, get to work. So they do. And Walter and Jesse have to melt the body, obviously, because They just do it. They just do because they would get suspicious. So they melt it. They put it in a crate in a barrel, and they put like some stuff on it that was in the second episode ever of Breaking Bad. They touched up on it. Let me see if I can read what it was though. Um, Here we go. Um, Hydraulic acid. Um, and Yeah, I thought it was good stuff. And then they take it to the truck, and it's gone. So then and I forgot to mention too, Hank is not happy about being home. He's not happy just sitting there all day because he knows he wasn't held enough. They did touch on that this episode. Um, he's not happy with Marie. Yeah, he doesn't really think he's making progress. So they're kind of slowly building into something with Hank. Um, and then later, the next day, Walter and Jesse are out getting breakfast. And Walter tells Jesse, he asks Jesse if he's okay because he actually doesn't really seem okay. He seems like he's kind of nuts. Jesse finally talks. He did say something when they were putting the body in the when they were melting the body, but he really didn't say anything this whole episode, which I thought was made this episode really great. And the way, by the way, too, Gus came in and killing Victor, I thought was badass because he didn't say, he was like a ruthless boss, both literally and figurative, and like it's both like the way that the term is supposed to be used, and like he was really like boss, like a term of saying that he was cool. He did it so awesome. He was a badass, I should have said. And I was like, oh, so then they're getting breakfast, and Walter asks Jesse if he's okay to see if he's all messed up from killing Gail, and he tells Jesse that killing Gail was necessary, was the only way this could work. However, it's only a matter of time because Gus will find another chemist, and once he gets him, he will kill him. But who knows how long that will take? But Jesse doesn't think it's gonna happen because it took him probably a while to find a chemist like Gail, so it's gonna take him a while to find another one. And then he says that I think they understand each other. So I thought that was pretty good stuff. And then Walter has to take a cab back home because he doesn't have his car. And Skyler comes out and tells him that the car is parked 3 blocks over to the right. So he goes to his car. And then the police or DEA, I don't really know what it is, are doing like a crime spree with Gail's body. And it zooms in on his notes. So I wonder if they're going to do something with his notes where the DEA, when Hank finally comes back, will look at Gail's notes and see what's going on. But that was this episode of Breaking Bad. To be honest with you, I thought it was actually a pretty good, damn good episode, a good way to start off the season because you're setting up a lot of things. I have a feeling Jesse's going to go a little bit crazy for a couple of episodes of the season because he had to kill Gail. And this whole thing with Gus just becoming a huge villain, I think is cool. He's not like, I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but he was just in full villain mode. Walter was really good in this episode, and Skyler. I thought Skyler was pretty badass this episode. And they're setting up a lot of things, I think. Well, they already have set him up, but you get what I'm saying. I haven't seen it yet, so. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. I will be back to make a video sometime this week, so that's pretty much it, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. You can click right there, and you can check out the other Breaking Bad reviews on this channel.